welcome to my channel ICT Made Easy. Today what I'll be teaching you is storage devices and media, and that is chapter 3 of your syllabus. Before I get started, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that you can get notification whenever I upload a new video. As I always tell you why I made this video, so I used to tell you that the textbook, everything just quite easy, but whenever you see the question, so on a certain topic, you got to know that you are unable to answer them. Now, at the end of this video, you should be able to answer any IGCSE question related to chapter 3. If you're unable to do that, then you have to refer back to your textbook, or you watch this video again, and you can even download my PowerPoint slide as well. It's a summary slide. Now, first and foremost, the question is, why do you think a data backup in computer is actually needed? Then for sure you can say that to safeguard against loss of data, then to safeguard against damage caused by hackers, then to backup is done. So backup is done if data needs to be used elsewhere. These are the reasons why we do data backup. Of course, you can be given similar questions like this in your exam, in which they say that Ahmed has the option of backing up his data online or to just leave it the way it is. Now, what are the benefits Ahmed is going to benefit if he back up his data? Then you can say, of course, Ahmed will benefit some few things. One of them is to safeguard his data, his loss of data. Then another thing is to safeguard against damage caused by hacker if anybody by chance hack his data or his computer, in as much as he has a backup, so there won't be an issue. Then backup is also done if data needs to be used elsewhere. Now, this chapter covers many forms of secondary storage. You have to know that, and yesterday I actually told you, or the previous video in part 1, so I actually tell you, or I told you the differences between the main memory, primary memory, and secondary memory. If you haven't watched that, you can try to go back to chapter 2 of this video, or chapter 2 of your curriculum, and you can watch the video. Now, let's talk about the backing up. Refers to the copying of file or data to a different medium, so in case of a problem with the main secondary devices. Of course, as I used to tell you, you will never be asked to define what a backup means, but you can just be given some few questions in which you have to say the benefits of backing up your data. Now, the first thing, or one of the things you're supposed to know here, is what we call type of data access. Now, the first one is the serial access. I'm pretty sure you should have seen something like this before. So we call it magnetic tape. Of course, long time ago, we used to use it for radio cassettes, right? So we used to use it for radio cassettes. Now, in serial access, checking the data in a file sequentially. The keyword here is sequentially until the record is found. So this is an old technology of saving your data. So which means it's not, in your pen drive, your pen drive is not serial access. That's why you can just plug in your pen drive in your computer, and you just double click and you can open whatever file you want immediately. But in this kind of storage media, that is not possible. You have to wait. It's going to start from the beginning until the end, or until where you have your data. That's why they said that checking the data in a file sequentially. All right, pay attention to that. Then another type of data access we have is what we call direct access, and any other thing are direct access. Either is a CD, or is hard disk, is a floppy disk, is a magnetic disk, or is a pen drive. or memory card, whatever it is, any other thing are direct access. And the reason why we call them their direct access is that they are being used in magnetic disk, so optical media as well as solid state media. Now, the computer used a key field to calculate where the data is stored. Then it is used in real-time system or online system as well. Now, let's quickly talk about storage devices here. Storage devices or file size. Of course, as you know, one bit of a data, so is, or let's say that 4 bits is actually equals to 1 nibble. Then 1 bit of a data is equal to 8 bytes, and 1000 bytes of a data, or 1024 bytes of a data is equal to 1 kilobyte. Then 1000 kilobytes is equal to 1 megabyte. Then 1000 megabytes is equal to 1 gigabyte, and 1000 gigabytes is equal to 1 terabyte. So just try to pay attention to this. Now, another thing you're supposed to know here is the sizes of different storage media we have. We have a floppy disk. We used to use it a long time ago. People are not using it any longer, this floppy disk. Then, but the maximum file you can save or data you can save in floppy disk is 1.4 megabytes. Then after that, we have something we call CD-ROM. CD-ROM is very cheap. You can just find it everywhere. The maximum data you can save in your CD is just 700 megabytes, maybe around 1 hour or 2 hours movies. So no more than that. All right, it depends, on the quality of the movie, by the way. So then after that, we have something we call DVD, and that one can give you up to 4.7. Then Blu-ray, it can give you up to 128 gigabytes. Then we have hard drive or hard disk. Of course, you can have up to like 8 terabytes. And this thing is not written on a stone. It's actually improving and increasing every time. Is improving and increasing every time. So it doesn't mean that for the rest of one's life, so DVD will be 4.7. Maybe, who knows, in future, they can do some other DVD which can give you up to like 1 terabyte. But at the moment, so DVD usually can save data up to 4.7 gigabytes only. Now, and the last one is the magnetic tape, which it can give you up to like 185 terabytes. So just try to pay attention to all this. Now, another thing you're supposed to know here is what you call the main memory and the backend storage. What are the differences between them? I told you several times in the previous video, in chapter 2, when I was talking about the main memory as well as the secondary memory. Secondary memory, you can call it backend storage, is the same thing. Now, when we say main memory, these are the internal memory or primary memory you have in your computer. Then it actually includes random access memory and read-only memory. It is usually used to store data temporarily in case of RAM, and all the necessary data you need to start up your computer, that one is actually stored in the ROM, read-only memory. Then usually used to store data while it is being processed by the CPU. Then we say that it is volatile, means data will be lost if computer is turned off in case of RAM. All right. Now let's talk about backend storage now. Backend storage are known as secondary storage. If they don't call it backend storage, then they can call it secondary storage or secondary memory. Now, name for all other storage devices which are part of a computer, like hard drive. They're usually used to store data over a long period of time. Just like when you save something in your pen drive or you save it in your hard disk, so the data will not be deleted. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, it will still be there. Then usually used to store application software, operating software, or operating system and files and any other thing. Then majorly they are non-volatile. It means that even if you remove them from your computer, the data will not be lost. Okay. Now, this topic or this chapter 3, there are 3 different things, the major different things you're supposed to know whenever we are talking about media devices, the devices we use to store your data, media devices. So some of them are magnetic, and some of them are optical, and some are solid state. You have to know this. Compulsory, you have to know this. Some of the media, or some of the media storage that we use, or some of the media or some of the devices we use to store our data, some of them are magnetic, some are optical, and some are solid state. Pay attention to this. When we say magnetic, let's talk about the first one, which is the fixed internal hard disk. Why do we call it fixed? Because it is always inside the computer. It is always inside the computer. Fixed internal hard disk. So it's the main backend storage device used by all computer. It is less likely to break because it is fixed. It's not something you'll be taking here and there. Then high storage capacity compared to external drive. Of course, it has up to like 8 terabytes, So it's very difficult to see a pen drive that can give you up to like 2 or 3 or 4 terabytes nowadays. But this one, so it has very high capacity, storage capacity. Then in terms of data transfer, then it's very fast. Then it has more moving parts compared to solid state drive. This is one of the disadvantages. It has moving parts. Take note, it has more moving parts. And because of this more moving parts, then it is easy to crash anytime. It is easy to crash anytime. So then incorrect shutdown procedure could actually harm your hard disk. So you have to pay attention to this and all these points. Now, another magnetic media device we have is what we call portable hard drive. You might be thinking, what's the difference between this? This one, yeah, this one is always inside the hard. Both of them are hard drive, by the way, or you call it hard disk. But one is always inside the computer. Why this one, it is portable and you can take it anywhere you want to go with you. So that's why they call it portable hard drive or portable hard disk. Now, this device connects to the computer using USB ports. Okay, then external hard drive are used to store, personal backup data, transfer files between computers. Then it is portable, so transfer files between computer. So some people prefer to use this instead of pen drive because it can save. It is durable. It can save more data as compared to pen drive. All right. And then it has high storage capacity compared to optical disk as well. Virtually everything applied to internal one is also applied to external one. So which is the fixed internal hard disk is also applied to portable hard disk. The only difference is one is actually fixed in the computer, and this one you can take it anywhere you go. Now, more prone to errors than fixed hard drive. Yeah, why? Yeah, because it can break anywhere, you just put it or it fell down or something like that. But it also has a moving part. In that case, it is quite easy to crash. Then could be damaged if incorrectly ejected from the computer as well. Now, the last one here is what we call magnetic tape, which is also magnetic. You see, magnetic tape. This one, large organization used to use it. What do they use it for? To back up their data daily. Then long-term archiving of data. If you want to archive your data, so if you want to save your data for a long time, so it is always preferable to use this magnetic tapes. So huge storage capacity, I showed you earlier, it has up to like 185 terabytes. Wow, that's so much. That's so much. That's why big organizations are using it, and it used to be quite expensive as well. Then that data access is slow, very sure, because it is serial access. In terms of data access is quite slow. Now, that's all what you're supposed to know under magnetic. So we are talking of 3 different devices. One is fixed internal hard disk. The second one is the portable hard disk, and the third one is the magnetic tape. Take note. Now, let's talk about optical media now. For optical media, anything optical, or in English, when we say something optical, what does that mean? So we are talking of CD, all right? The first one here is CD-ROM. So CD-ROM are read only. Why is it? As you can see here, CDR, CDR. R stands for read only, and read only means you can only copy data to it only one time. So like movies, you just copy movies inside it only one time. So you cannot copy another, you cannot use this as a pen drive. Pen drive is RW, though some CD are also RW, by the way, which means when you copy data to them, you can delete, copy, delete, copy, delete. That's what they call RW. R, read and write. Read and write. Read means you can copy data. Write means you can delete data. So take note of that. All right. So then here we have a DVD as well. The major difference between DVD and CD is not all about color or all about size. All of them, they have, the same size, are all optical, but the only difference here is the storage capacity. For CD, you can store data up to 700 megabytes inside it, but for DVD, it can actually give you up to 4.7 megabytes, sorry, gigabyte, 4.7 gig. Even though we do have some double layer DVD, if you have double layer DVD, then you can have like 4.7 times 2, that would be 9.2, right? That would be 4.7 times 2, that would be 9.4, if I'm not mistaken. So 9.4 gigabytes. So, but still, so the size is not that much. Now, after that, we have Blu-ray. Blu-ray, as you can see here, it can give you up to like 25 gigabytes. You can store data inside Blu-ray up to like 25 megabytes. So Blu-ray, use a blue laser instead of a red laser used with CD or DVD. So as I told you, the only difference here is the storage capacity. It's quite expensive, by the way. So because it has more storage capacity than CD as well as DVD, and that's all under optical. Optical, we talk about three different media. The first one is CD, the second one is DVD, and the third one is the Blu-ray. So take note. Now, for the last one is solid state. Solid state. For the solid state, we have, of course, what is this? Everyone knows this. This is what you call a pen drive, right? Pen drive. What about this? Solid state drive. We call this one solid state drive, SSD. SSD. This is the latest technology now. People are not using hard disk, hard drive any longer. So they are replacing it with this SSD. And the last one is this one, which is the memory card, the one you use in your video camera or in your digital camera or in your phone as well. Memory card or flash memory card. Now, for solid state, storage devices are based on electronic circuit with no moving parts. If you could remember when I was actually explaining, so if you could remember when I was explaining this, I quickly want to show you something here. When I was explaining the hard disk, we said that it has a moving part. It has a moving part, and because of this moving part, it is easy to crash. So I don't know if you have experienced that before. Some people, their computer crash. Why is it crash? Because the hard disk. When you are using something for a long time, there will be a day it has a moving part. That's why when you turn on your computer, if your laptop is using hard disk, you will hear a kind of noise. Something like that. It makes a bit of sound because the hard disk is moving virtually every time. So it can crash anytime. In order to solve this problem, this is one of the disadvantages of using hard disk. In order to solve this problem, then they try to introduce solid state, and we have solid state drive, SSD, solid state drive. This one, what is using is electronic circuit. All your data is stored here. Electronic. This is what we call a chip. It's stored in the chip. As you can see, if you open the pen drive, you will see there is a chip here as well. Even this memory card, the other side, you will see there is a chip here as well. For the solid state, all the data are actually stored in electronic circuit, Because of that, there is no any moving part, and because of that, they are durable. So you can use them for a long time. They have less chance of crash, less chance of crashing. Yes, they have. So that's why if you have a Mac computer or even some Windows computer, so people are actually moving to SSD now. If you want to access your data is very fast and it doesn't make so much noise and the chance of crash is very low. Do you get the points now? So take note of the difference between them. Now, solid state storage devices store data using a special type of memory. So they call it flash memory. So this one, then USB or memory card or SSD are examples, and so they use direct access. All of them, they are using direct access. Now that's all. You know, your chapter 3 is just a very short chapter, so it doesn't contain so much information. Now let's look at how Cambridge normally asks question in this chapter. All right. Now the first question says CD, DVD, and Blu-ray are types of optical storage. Tick the most appropriate optical storage medium for each of the statements. 1. Stores lower quality audio file. What do you think? The one that stores lower quality audio file. Of course, the one that has the smallest storage size, by the way, that would be 700 megabytes, right? So that's it. Then, which one do you think it has the highest storage capacity? Highest, of course, is Blu-ray. As I told you, it has up. You can save up to like 25 terabytes there. Look at the way Cambridge are asking the question. You see, if you never go through the past year question based on each topic, you might actually find it difficult, because they will never ask you exactly what you have in the textbook. Their question is always advanced, and that's why I made this video. Now, this one says, question 3 says, the RAM version of this medium is used to record and play recorded images at the same time. Of course, which one has the RAM version? Yeah, that's DVD RAM. Okay, is DVD. Then we don't have anything like Blu-ray RAM or CD RAM or something like it's only DVD RAM, right? Then store high definition movies. I think we just mentioned that earlier. Stores high definition movie, and that would be Blu-ray. Now, this one says Ananya is a student who is considering buying a new laptop computer. She visits the local store and is offered the choice of a laptop with an internal solid state drive or a laptop where she can store her data in the cloud. Now the question now is, describe the benefit and drawback of using an SSD rather than storing data in the cloud. Do you know what they mean by the cloud? Maybe something like a Google Drive, or Google Drive, Dropbox, and some other things like that. What is the benefit of storing data in the cloud instead of using SSD? Well, one of the things you can see is that SSD is stored within the computer because it is actually in the computer and you have control over it. Whereas if you store something in the cloud, if you store it in Google Drive, it means if Google bankrupts tomorrow, all your data will not be found anywhere. But of course, if you save your data in your computer, in the hard disk, either they are talking of SSD or hard disk, the story is the same. In as much as you store it in your computer, so you have control over it. Then SSD is a physical storage device. Physical is something you can touch in the computer. Therefore, it's present in your computer all the time. Then, once the SSD is purchased, there is no any monthly or yearly subscription, right? Now, the SSD does not necessarily need internet. Yes, you can just save, just like you want to save something in your computer, you don't need internet to do that, right? Then transferring data to the SSD may take less time than to the cloud. Now, but if you save something in the cloud, with the cloud, data can be accessed on several devices. I think that's one of the advantages. But if you save something in SSD, you can only access the data in your computer. If you want to access it in other computer, you have to use pen drive or something like that to transfer it from one computer to another. But if you say something in Google Drive, it's very easy. You can just log into your Google account in any devices all over the world, and you can have your data. I think that's one of the disadvantages. Then extra storage can be set automatically on the cloud, unlike SSD, which is fixed. If your SSD in your computer is 500 gig, that's all. For the rest of its life, it will be 500. But if you are using cloud, maybe Dropbox or Google Drive or anything, let's say if they give you free or 15 gig, you can also buy more. You can make it to be 30 gig. You can make it to be 45 gig. So that's an advantage. Then, though you need to buy, by the way, then SSD device can easily be misplaced or damaged as well. But if you save something on cloud, so there is less chance. So nothing with damage here. Then backups are automatic on the cloud. Yes, backup are automatic on the cloud. But if you save something in your computer in SSD, you still need another device to do backup. Now, another thing here, so tick whether the following are an example of magnetic tape, Blu-ray, DVD, RAM. What do you think? Does not require a laser to read the data. What is that according to what we learned earlier? So of course that's magnetic tape, right? Whenever we are talking about laser, we are talking about optical. And you know DVD is an optical and Blu-ray is also an optical. Then uses serial access only. Which one uses serial access here? Of course, it's magnetic tape, as we discussed earlier. Used to store and play HD movies, HD high definition movies. Then that will be Blu-ray. And finally, can store and read data at the same time, which means it can copy and delete. That would be DVD RAM. Another question. This one says circle two items which are used as external storage devices. Or for what are the two? Yeah, CD as well as hard disk. Then question 5, give 3 reasons why she may prefer to use a pen drive. Just try to read the question. Then what are the two reasons why she might actually use the pen drive instead of using magnetic tape? Well, pen drive work on most computer, alright? The magnetic tape drives are more expensive to buy. As we talked earlier, magnetic tape, they have up to like 128 terabytes, very expensive. Pen drive is quite cheaper. Pen drive are more robust as well. So then finding or restoring data from a pen drive is easier than magnetic tape. Then pen drive are less susceptible to magnetic field. Now, easier to carry around, more portable when you are using a pen drive. I think only 3 points, you can give any 3 points from here, but I give many so that you can choose any one you easily remember. Now, another question here. This one says, give 4 advantages of storing the data in the cloud other than using other storage media. What are the advantages of saving your data in the cloud? Well, the cloud has greater storage capacity than other methods. Then the data could be sent directly to the cloud from any device. And access the data from any device is easier, then easier to add storage capacity, lower capacity outlay. The organizer will only pay for the storage they use. So then data can be analyzed more quickly, as many things as you can see here. Then another one says the organizer are worried that there are drawbacks in storing data in the cloud. Describe 3 disadvantages of storing your data in the cloud. Well, more security issue as personal data is used. Then the owner of the data loses control over it. Then the cost of storing in the cloud may be restrictive. It might be quite expensive, And devices must always be connected to the internet. So that's one of the issue. So then it requires monthly or yearly subscription. Now, this question says magnetic, optical, and solid state. Which one is magnetic here? Blu-ray, of course, is optical. Hard disk, magnetic. Pen drive, solid state, as we discussed earlier. Flash memory card, also solid state. Then this one says, discuss the advantages and disadvantages of using the cloud rather than a hard disk for application. Cloud and hard disk is very similar to all what I mentioned earlier. Just try to read this one at your own time. So it's very similar to all the advantages and disadvantages I mentioned earlier about the cloud as well as the SSD. All right. Now this one says tick whether the following statements are true or false. What do you think? Pen drive are used to make backups on large company. No, it's false. That is not pen drive. Pen drive has very small memory. Magnetic tapes use direct magnetic tape use direct access when searching for record is false. It's using serial access, not direct access. Fixed hard disk have lower access time than optical disk. That's false as well. No, fixed one it has very is the data the data transfer is very fast, as we mentioned earlier. Then DVD RW allow you to save new data to them. Yes, RW means read and write. You can copy and delete. You can save new data to it. Then a CD has greater storage capacity than a DVD. No, DVD has more than CD. Then another one says RAM and ROM are part of immediate access memory. Explain why computer system have both backend storage and immediate access storage. So just try to read this one at your own time. All right. Now, this one says explain why a hard disk is used to store the data file. Why hard disk is used? Why do we use hard disk? It can store vast amounts of information, has a fast data access speed, and has a fast data transfer speed as well. Most computers actually come with hard disk. Now, what about this? This one says the diagram shows a desktop computer. The name two storage devices shown in the diagram above. What are the two devices? Yeah, pen drive as well as internal hard disk. Those are the one, according to this diagram, that are storage devices. Now, the next part of this video is going to be for chapter 4. So, and chapter 4, we are going to talk about network devices and their effect. So watch out for the next video. So thank you for watching this, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And if you need the slide I'm using, you can just visit my website to download the slide, www.ictmadeeasy.com. So thank you for watching. Bye.